You want to write your life story. You want to self-publish a memoir, but you have zero clue of where to begin? You have come to the right video. In this video, you will learn the easiest way to approach the memoir writing process in just 5 steps. But before we begin, stick with me to the end because we are going to embark on a real-time writing session where I will provide you with a prompt. Without further ado, let's get started. When you think about a memoir is it's your life story, right? And many people tend to want to cram as many details as possible into the story, and they do not think about how they're going to present those important and most critical experiences that provide the most value to their reader. When you write your memoir, think in terms of experiences. Narrow down your focus, and each chapter will target and you will present each of those experiences. But now, when you write, you want to show and not tell. Don't tell me about what you went through. Paint a picture of what happened. What were you doing? You were walking down the hall, and then suddenly you realized it was quiet. And then you looked to your right and the window was open. You need to show what happened at that moment. Don't tell me about it. I'm going to go ahead and share I'm going to read to you guys the first chapter of my memoir that I wrote years and years and years ago. And I just want to share with you what I mean by show me, don't tell me. One hot afternoon, I decided to stay inside the house to play with my dolls. As I played, I suddenly noticed that the house was uncharacteristically quiet. I was worried that everyone had left, so I began searching for them. I wanted someone to keep me company. I went into each room of the house, but I couldn't find either of my sisters in their rooms nor mom and dad. After giving up in the house, I decided to check the small connected efficiency unit. I stepped down to look around. Everything was quiet. I walked in to have a better look. It was dark. All windows were obscured from the day's sunlight. As I stepped into the bedroom, I heard a man's whisper. Suddenly, a hand pulled me close. I felt scared, and deep in my gut, I knew that something was terribly wrong. I didn't understand what was about to happen next, but I was sure of who had pulled me. I felt my shorts come down slowly, along with my panties. I felt the darkness in that room swallow me alive. There was movement, and in a matter of seconds, my bottom drowned in throbbing ache and pain. I was hurting in a way that I could not explain or understand. I remained still, numb, and paralyzed with fear. I wondered, when will this be over? It felt like an eternity. As soon as he released me from his grip, I felt a sudden urge to defecate. As I walked up the steps and down the hallway, I noticed that I felt completely dissociated from my body. It was like an out-of-body experience, and I was watching myself through it all. So that's just a little bit of how I began the first chapter in my memoir. And as you can see, I'm painting a picture of what I was experiencing at the time, what was happening. I'm not telling you about it, I'm showing you. So what you need to learn in this memoir writing 5-step sequence is that number 1, start with the worst possible experience that you've ever gone through. That for me, that first chapter was the worst experience of my life. Step number 2, show me how your situation got worse. How does it get worse for you? Usually when you watch a movie, you will notice that the story starts, it could start with the storyline is something really bad happens, but then the character goes through even more challenges, and it's that buildup that gets us hooked. We want to know what happens next and what happens next and how do they get out of it. As you're creating your outline for your memoir, chapter 1 is your worst experience. You can think of chapter 2, how it got worse, and chapter 3, how it got really, really, really bad, because it's going to lead us to step number 3. Show what led you to hopelessness. Maybe your reader is picking up your memoir because they're feeling helpless. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They're looking for one thing. They need hope. Hope that things will get better. Hope that they can come out of it stronger. This is important. Show me your turning point. What was that thing that clicked? It just brought everything together. What was that solution? What was the opportunity? What was your way out? What started happening that began to shift your life for the better? Step number 5, overcoming your challenges. How did you overcome whatever situation you went through or what series of challenges you faced? People want to know the triumph, that moment of your big win. Why? They want to feel hope for their own lives, their own stories, because as they read your memoir, what they're actually doing is that they're connecting with you and they're connecting to your story because it may look very similar to what their experience is. So it's very important that you communicate that huge moment of triumph, how you overcame that struggle that you were going through, because it instills hope and encouragement for your reader. Now for my favorite part, I want to give you guys some practice. I'm going to give you a writing prompt. I'm going to share my screen. And as you write with me, I'm going to share what I'm writing. So if you ever want to just take a moment to just watch what I write and then play it again and you write your own content, that's totally fine as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen in just a moment. Let's go. Before we begin, leave perfectionism out the window. Just write. The writing prompt is write about one of the most amazing moments that you've ever experienced. Let's begin. Okay, so now that I have written this, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. I felt an urge to pee. As I'm getting up, I feel flush come out of me. I ran to the bathroom and the pee did not stop. I called out to my husband, completely freaked out. I told him to bring me extra towels. He rushed in, brought in the extra towels, and we began to clean up. I knew then that this wasn't pee. My water broke. We rushed to the maternity center where I was checked in by my midwife. I was super excited, but was bummed when she checked me and I was only 2 centimeters dilated. She told me it would be a long night. So I went back home and waited out. My husband started keeping track of my contractions, and as soon as they started becoming stronger and much more closer, I called my mom and my sisters and told them it's time. He is coming. We rushed back to the maternity center, and I thought that it would happen fast. Long and behold, 30 hours later, I gave birth to my baby boy. Nathan was born. So as you can see, when I wrote this, this is considered one of the most amazing experiences that I have ever experienced. I wrote it in the form of a story, like you're reading a story. I hope this exercise was helpful in showing you how you're going to relay your story, your experiences. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to learn more, and let me know in the comments down below if you want to go ahead and continue doing these writing sessions, and we can go ahead and go a little bit longer with many more writing prompts to get your ideas flowing and get your writing in the zone. God bless, and I will see you on the next video.